Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Bold Business Women's channel. I'm Nancy Fox, the Business Fox, and I'm so happy to have you with me today. Now, today, I want to talk to you about a topic that is very near and dear to my professional and personal heart, but also as I'm talking to so many of my clients and to my colleagues in networking and even doing the interviews for Trailblazers Cafe, there's a very common theme that is running throughout, and that is that in 2022, women are still behind the eight ball in their level of confidence and ability to share about their strengths, to share about their accomplishments, to toot their own horn, to stand up for themselves. So today, the topic of today's session is really how to step forward, how to leap forward in your career. In order to do that, you have got to learn how to step forward in order to get more clout, in order to get more confidence, and in order to get more compensation. So I want to talk, I have about 9 points that I'm going to go over with you today about how you do that. These are the essential ingredients to having a leap forward in your career, whether it's to get a promotion, to get a dream job that you really are hungering for, or even to start and grow your own business. All of the elements and the ingredients are the same, but you've got to really learn how to get beyond a lot of the mind trash that you've been, and a lot of the socialization that you've been given, and gain these new skill sets. Every single one of them is essential because you're going to encounter a lot of consistency in the challenges that are going to be presented to you along your career. So I want to tell you first a little bit about how I learned these things. I'm a former VP, senior executive in the manufacturing industry. I was a senior executive in marketing and in product development for some very, very large corporations and some smaller ones in women's. It was actually in the women's underwear industry. It was a very interesting career, but it was even though it was a women's product line, it was a male-dominated industry. And so I really had to learn how to command my worth, how to present myself, and how to gain a recognition, how to gain respect. It was a big challenge because there weren't very many mentors in those days. There weren't very many women mentors at all. I was very fortunate that I did have one, but she was a mixed bag as it turns out. She was good in some ways and she was not good in other ways. And I'm here to share with you a lot of the tools and the skills that you need to develop if you really want to move forward in your career in 2022 and beyond. Now, for especially, today, so many women are highly educated, fantastic degrees, certifications, and even, it's very fascinating, but they work really, really hard, harder than ever before, in order to prove themselves, in order to demonstrate to the world how accomplished they are, how valuable they are. But that's not what's going to get you ahead. Hard work is not the deciding factor in you moving up either the ladder in the corporate world, in the professional world, getting a better job. It's not about how hard you work. That is just you putting your nose to the grindstone and letting other people determine your fate. So let me give you the 9 secrets. You really have to use these secrets if you want to leap forward in your career. Okay, ingredient number one is you've got to learn how to identify and demonstrate to the world your unique value proposition, what makes you special, what makes you unique, and what makes you valuable to your company, to your industry, to your business, to your clients. You have to learn how to identify what that is and be able to express it, to verbalize it, to really share it with the world. And you also need to identify your own personal brand, because whether you realize this or not, you already have a personal brand. The question is, are you going to be the creator of your personal brand? Or are you going to let the world create your personal brand? Because people have an identity in their heads about you, and it's whether you're going to create it, and make sure that you have the personal brand that you really want them to have about you. It's up to you. So you've really got to learn how to identify these two things: your unique value proposition and your personal brand, and be able to demonstrate and express it to your industry, to your company, to your clients. Okay, ingredient number 2 is you need to have what I call the Achievement Express. And that means you have to learn how to toot your own horn with style, with grace, and with finesse. So most women really, they don't just struggle with this, they are deflated by this. Most women are absolutely, they find tooting their own horn aberrant. They just don't want to do it. It's too hard for them. And so they just back away and don't say anything, hoping and praying. I call it the hope, wish, and a prayer method. They hope, wish, and pray that someone's going to notice how great they are, how hard they work, and how valuable they are. Nope. So you've got to really learn how to track your achievements, keep a list of them, and learn how to express them to the important people in your professional and personal universe. Okay, ingredient number 3, and this is critical. This is not like a nice to have. This is a must have. You have to learn how to have a winner mindset. You know, it doesn't take much for someone to knock you off your game just by a slight comment. And it starts to multiply and to expand in your head. And all of the confidence that you've worked hard to cull and to develop can go by the wayside in about a heartbeat, just by one comment that just goes awry. So you have to learn how to work on your mindset every single day. And there are definitely some techniques and some tools and some strategies. Meditation is one of them. Visualization is another one. Every sports athlete knows, professional or otherwise, knows they've got to work on their mindset and their visualizations as much as their physical fitness, and they're practicing. So I say this to you, if you take on a winner mindset and you use the tools of meditation, visualization, journaling, all of that, and also to really make a commitment that you're not going to pay attention or listen to the negative voice on your left shoulder and pay attention to the voice of power and confidence on your right shoulder. And day by day, it starts to build and multiply and starts to really gather steam. So that's ingredient number 3. Ingredient number 4 is what I call the art of the ask. So this is learning how to know what you want, how to ask for what you want, and be ready to receive what you want. Most women never really learn how to ask for what they want. They don't want to put a stake in the sand for what they want, so they never learn to ask for it. They never learn how to communicate the ask. They never learn how to negotiate for the ask. So they just never bother to learn any of it. I have 2 people in my life. They're colleagues of mine. They're a husband and wife doctor team. And they were getting new jobs in a new city. And the woman doctor she didn't want to go on any interviews that required her to negotiate. But her husband went on all the job interviews that he wanted and negotiated for a higher salary because of his ability and willingness to negotiate. She took the job as is, never negotiated, and she didn't want to look. She was too afraid to ask for more. So I say this to you, if you want more, be willing to put a stake in the sand for it and learn how to negotiate, how to ask. And then the last piece of this part of the puzzle is you have to learn to be willing to receive it. A lot of women don't feel, they're so uncomfortable with commanding their worth that they don't even know how to receive the goodies when it comes their way. They gloss over it, they pass over it, and they feel uncomfortable and guilty when they actually receive what they want. You have to learn those things. So that's ingredient number 4. Ingredient number 5 is what I call the stretch lab. That means you have to learn how to push the envelope, how to stretch your boundaries, how to become comfortable with being uncomfortable so that you can have a greater level of fulfillment, achievement, and prosperity in your life. You have to learn how to stretch and be okay. You know, like when you go to the gym for the first time, after a while, your muscles are sore the next day. Now, they need to be a little sore, not to the point of excruciating pain, then you've gone overboard, but definitely you want to learn how to stretch your boundaries. And when I work with clients, I'm teaching them how to and the degree to which they need to learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, to go into some new situations, to try new things, to be to actually be uncomfortable in learning something new and trying something new. Is really interesting. I went to one of my, a new exercise class. I took Zumba for the first time. And I actually am I'm a dancer, in my social life, I do a lot of dancing. And yet I took this Zumba class and these steps were very different than anything that I knew. It was super uncomfortable in there for me. And I was really at first upset with myself because I couldn't follow as fast as I thought I would be able to, because I thought, oh, I'm a dancer, I know how to do this, but I didn't. I had to stick with it. And I'm going to go back. One of the thoughts that went through my head was, well, I'm never going to try this again because I'm obviously not good at it. And I said, no, I have a winner mindset and I'm going to be willing to stretch. I'm going to be in my own personal stretch lab on this. I'm going back to Zumba, and the next time I'm going to be better at it. And it's the same for anything. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable and stretch. And in the stretch is where the growth is. In the beginning, it's a little bit uncomfortable, your muscles are going to hurt, and then eventually you're going to be feeling fantastic about yourself because you were able to stick with it. Okay, the next ingredient is learning how to stand up for yourself without shooting yourself in the foot. Invariably, at some point along your journey, in your job, in going for your next big job, or in building a business, you're going to be confronted. Someone's going to confront you in some way. They're going to either try to put you in your place, diminish you, ask something of you that is completely out of bounds. You're going to have to be able to set boundaries. You're going to have to learn how to stand up for yourself without destroying the relationship, without having other people look at you as seeing that you're able to be brought down by an uncomfortable situation. Learning how to stand up for yourself without being fearful, without being embarrassed, without feeling guilty, is a critical piece to the puzzle of leaping forward in your career in any shape or form. It doesn't matter. That is critical. Someone is going to confront you. Someone is going to try to put you in your place. Someone is going to want to take the baton out of your hand. You have to learn how to stand up for yourself. Okay, the next ingredient is, this is not a nice to have, this is a must have also, and that is how to be a bold networker, how to learn how to network with the right people. I just got off a conversation with somebody who was networking in a very, very competitive field. And one of the ways that she networked was to actually build relations. She would go around her company. She took on an assignment and started going around to every department in her company, including the executive suite, and met everybody. She took it on as a project, and she met everybody in her company. So she networked internally, and then she learned how to network externally. Learning how to build a top-tier $1 million network is critical for you. It's going to make all the difference because, as you know, your network is your net worth, and they didn't say that for nothing. So the more people that you know in the sweet spot of your world, people that you want to emulate, your icons, the more opportunities are going to come your way. And I have I'll put a link in the description of today's video for my book on networking, Network Like a Fox, and you can check it out. You can read a free chapter, and I'll tell you how I became a networking ninja story. And I have some great strategies in this book, because it's not just about how to say your elevator speech. This is about how to meet just the right people for you. Build your $1 million network, top tier networking. Okay, next ingredient. Competition is nothing. Look, here's the deal. There's always going to be competition. Competition is not a bad thing. Competition is not really what you think it is. See, nobody can be you. So in a way, there really is no competition. Once you've learned to identify your unique value proposition and your personal brand, that's going to be a huge step in you not having fear about the competition. There's always going to be competition. There's always going to be somebody doing something in the same arena that you do. But that's not a bad thing. That's just justifying, that's just validating what you're about. But your unique way of doing it, your unique message, your unique approach, your unique signature system or method or training or product allows you to realize that there is no real competition. It's all in your head. So, and this is a little riff on the amazing quote from Muhammad Ali. He said, impossible is nothing. And I'm telling you that competition is nothing. If you start to look at it that way, no one can ever knock you off your game. And the last ingredient is creating your bold career success map. If you don't know where you're going, you're never going to get anywhere. It's just like a wish and a prayer. So you've got to learn how to create a success map. And I have some great tools for how to do this. If you want to learn more about that, I have a really great invitation for you. I've opened up 3 slots for people that want to have a career success map session with me, and it's complimentary. I'll put the link in the description, but you book your session and we'll actually talk about what's been holding you back in your career, where you want to go, where you've been limiting yourself, where your unique value proposition might be, your brilliance, where your zone of genius is. And then you can go ahead and create that success map, and you'll have the steps to follow, whether you want to get a promotion, a salary increase, whether you want to have the next dream job in another industry, or whether you want to be your own boss and go off into your own business. Listen, here's the thing I want you to know, ladies. In your career, when you're starting out, I don't know which stage of your career you're at, but especially in the earlier stages, the more time that you wait to actually tap into your zone of brilliance and to really work on these, to really adopt these ingredients and put them into your cake mix and develop a career so that you can truly leap forward. The longer you wait to build your power, the bigger the gap is between you and all the men who are at the same level, starting out at the same level, and all the other women too. So you have got to really start doing this. The gap widens, and that gap can mean hundreds of thousands of, is costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars year by year by year by year. It exponentially widens. Don't wait. Now is the time. This is the perfect time. So take me up on my invitation to book that career success map strategy session with me. I'll put the link in the box. Check out my book on networking, and definitely really pay attention to working on these 9 ingredients that I've given you and put them into play. If you're grappling with any of them, book that session with me. I would love to discuss this with you. If you're working in a company with other women who also want to learn these things, definitely reach out to me. I speak in companies. I've made presentations and workshops, lunch and learns. I've spoken to entire associations on how women need to leap forward by stepping forward. All right, you guys, it's been my pleasure to be with you. I'm Nancy Fox, the Business Fox. I'm a business and career coach, and I'm happy to speak with you personally. Definitely, if you like what you've been learning on the Bold Business Career channel, please hit the subscribe button. Watch for my new episodes of Trailblazers Cafe every Tuesday, and I'll see you next time, everybody. I'm Nancy Fox, the Business Fox. See you next time. Bye-bye.